Alright, you guys, Barcelona beat Mallorca 3-0 at home to extend the unbeaten run at home, and of course the lead at the top of the table to 4 points temporarily, of course, till Real Madrid played their game. And it was goals from Robert Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, and surprisingly enough, Marc Bernal, who had Barcelona flying in this game against Mallorca, and we have to talk about it. But first, if this is your first time seeing one of my videos, hi guys, I am Just Max, and on this channel I talk about football, La Liga, the Prem, UCL, and of course it's always going to be Visca Barca for me, as I am a Barca fan. So if this is something that you are interested in, please stick around, be my friend, be my homie. I would love to grow this channel with you and of course discuss football. But first we have to look at the lineup that Hansi Flick put together for this game and see how they performed. In goal was Joan Garcia, and I thought he did a good job. He didn't really have enough to do, but in the moments when he needed to do something, he did them. Jules Koundé was in right back, and off the cuff, I'm going to say he kind of had like a 50-50 performance. I could see the moments where he was clocked in and he had like a good stop here and there, but then there were moments that were just so bizarre and he just looked like he was spacing out in the pitch, and I just don't understand what was going on. And I think at some point in this video, we're going to have conversations about Jules Koundé, because this cannot continue. Pau Kubasi and Eric Garcia were our centre-back pairing, and honestly, Pau Kubasi was sensational. So was Eric Garcia, particularly Eric Garcia, because for me, in my opinion, he was doing a two-man job covering for those moments when Jules Koundé was, spacing out and then, doing the centre-back job. Alejandro Balde was okay. He didn't have like a flashy performance, but he just did enough to, command that left-back position for Barcelona. In the midfield, we did notice that Hansi Flick opted to rest Frenkie de Jong, and I think he did that with a look towards the game against Atletico Madrid in midweek, the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey. So what we did end up seeing was a pivot pairing between Marc Casado and Fermin Lopez, and Dani Olmo in that 10 position. I don't think that any of them particularly had like a robust, showing today. In fact, Fermin Lopez, for me, I thought he was a little bit on the quiet side, but he did give us glimpses into the quality that we know he has. Marc Casado did hit the bar in the second half, though I have to call that out very early. But other than that, I thought it was just an okay performance from the three of them. Marcus Rashford was sensational in the first half. He did come in the starting lineup because Rafinha is unfortunately injured. Robert Lewandowski did get a goal for Barcelona, as I stated in my intro, and Lamine Yamal was just breathtakingly brilliant for Barcelona. Now let's take a look at the whole game and the sequence of how things happened. I thought that Barcelona started out a little bit sleepy. They had a lot of ball possession within the first, I want to say, 20 minutes of the game, but it was actually Mallorca who could have gone like a goal or two up in those early exchanges. Mallorca had their shape, they were very compact, and I really don't like it when Barcelona plays against these teams that like to play low block, because sometimes we do find it very difficult to break them down. I think in the first half, I felt like Barcelona were trying a little bit hard to be too central, whereas Mallorca, for their own, play, they were very good at moving Barcelona, from side to side in the pitch, especially in that left wing part for Mallorca, which is the right back position for Barcelona, where Jules Koundé was just caught napping on a number of occasions. There was that opportunity where Muriqi missed for Mallorca, and it all stemmed from the ball being given away in the middle of the park and Jules Koundé just not knowing whether he needed to go forward or go back. And honestly, it was kind of weird for me because I love me some Jules Koundé. I'm a Jules Koundé stan. I really love this player. I'm not like one of them Barca fans that, have amnesia or short-term memory where you forget where the player has given you. I remember Jules Koundé. I remember when he joined Barcelona. I remember all the good things that he has been able to do. He's originally a centre-back, and being able to be converted from a centre-back to a right-back and becoming one of arguably the best right-back in the world. I remember it, and I remember the quality that he has. All of that to say, that's not the Jules Koundé that has been playing for Barcelona this season. I just don't understand when I see him not understanding where he needs to be on the pitch, when I see him not understanding how to clear a ball, when I see him just kind of spacing out is the word. A commentator on today's game kept on saying maybe Jules Koundé is still taking a nap, because yes, it was an early kickoff for Barcelona, but even then, there should be no excuse. You are a professional. You should not be doing that. And this is not the first, the second, the third, or the fourth game that this has happened for Jules Koundé. He's struggling for form. And honestly, I need to know what it is so that we can fix it. Because as I mentioned earlier, Barcelona will be taking on Atletico Madrid Atletico Madrid have just recently added the likes of Ademola Lookman, who know how to run, who know how to exploit paces, and he is a goal scoring machine. And going to Madrid in midweek, we can't have this. No. So that first half, Mallorca, they certainly could have had themselves on the score sheet, especially with the way they were going from left to right. Meanwhile, Barcelona were just very insistent on being so central. Unfortunately for them, though, they don't have the quality in front of goal. And not just that they don't have the quality in front of goal, we do have Eric Garcia, who is our Swiss Army knife of a defender, just coming in there to cut out, every kind of attack that Mallorca was putting in together. And of course, when the hour was needed, Joan Garcia also did his big one. I started to see things develop for Barcelona through Marcus Rashford. Now, I think it was on the 29th minute that Robert Lewandowski scored, but earlier before that, Marcus Rashford had taken a shot from outside the box, which is something that I wanted them to try, because we tried to keep on breaking down this defense. They're very, very compact. They're very, very well organized. Well, try your luck from outside, see what's happened, put a shot in it. And I remember on my TikTok, I said Fermin Lopez needs to start doing Fermin Lopez things. And one of the things I love Fermin Lopez for is his ability to shoot from long range, right? And we weren't doing enough of that in that first half. And then to see that Marcus Rashford took the initiative, make a little bit of a run, and then takes the shot. It's just a little bit wide, but it was enough to spark a little bit of energy into the Barcelona attack. And not up to 2 minutes after that, he's going to do the same thing again. This time the defender gets a head on the ball, and then it falls to Lewandowski, who then slips the goalkeeper, slips the defender, and it's so composed in front of goal to slot Barcelona 1-0. It was against the run of play. One of the things that I kept on hearing from the commentators when the goal went in was Robert Lewandowski offside? And for me, Robert Lewandowski was not. Yes, he was offside when Marcus Rashford made the initial shot, but then the Mallorca defender, he does make a play for the ball, he does give it away. So at this point, it's a whole new sequence of play, so you cannot still be claiming offside from that first one. So the goal did end up standing for Barcelona. Barcelona continues to press Mallorca. One of the things that happened is they did end up having to come out a little bit more. Again, when you are down 1-0 to Barcelona, you have to try and find an equalizer. So you cannot just sit at home and say, hey, it's what, you had to come out. They did put our defense under pressure here and there, but again, we managed to hold out in that first half. Actually, in the end of the first half, we did have an opportunity, and it was through, again, Marcus Rashford, who put a very good, top pin free kick, but Leo Roman, he's the goalkeeper that has been of our existence for quite some time. He does a very, very wonderful save. Jules Koundé gets the rebound, puts it into a very dangerous area for Barcelona, and it was Lamine Yamal and Robert Lewandowski who was rushing onto it. Lamine Yamal did get the final touch, but then just put it quite wide. It's a goal that he actually was supposed to score, in my opinion. Barcelona finished the first half on top. Coming up for the second half, though, I thought that we started better than we started the first half. And it just reminds me of why people call Barcelona the halftime FC, because when we come out in the second half, we are a whole total beast of an animal. We started out with so much energy. The intensity was high, and within the first 3 minutes, I thought that Barcelona had earned a penalty. It wasn't called, which is kind of weird for me. Lamine Yamal takes the ball, he's driving and he's dancing in the box for Barcelona, and just before he's able to get his shot away, the defender does take him down. He's nowhere near the ball, and he does hit Lamine Yamal, but somehow, even though the referee is so well placed in front of the action, he does deem it as not a foul, which again make sense, especially with the amount of calls that we see given for Real Madrid. Also, there was no VAR intervention, but I digress. All of that would not come in material for Barcelona anyway, because Barcelona will keep on pressing Mallorca to death. I would say the way that they pressed them, they just couldn't come out of the half. They couldn't come out of their lower third area. It was every second ball, every third ball. Barcelona had the more energy, the more resilience to pounce on everything. And of course, we had an avalanche of crosses, or an avalanche of corner kicks, because of the wave of pressure that we kept on mounting on Mallorca. The second goal does come from a corner for Barcelona, and this time it was a short corner that was played to Lamine Yamal, who was standing way outside of the box. And I don't think that Mallorca expected Lamine Yamal to take the shot from where he did, because again, Barcelona has this penchant of wanting to create the perfect goal, probably walk it into the back of the net. So they were set up in a way that they were expecting the ball to be passed a little bit. Lamine Yamal did see the half space that was given to him. He lights up a shot from outside of the box, and it is a golazo. a top tier golazo. The keeper doesn't see it, the defense doesn't see it. Barcelona are flying. It is 2-0. We can breathe a sigh of relief, and this is on the 61 minute, by the way. And the reason why I love it is because, again, like I said, we have to play Atletico Madrid in midweek, so the fact that we're able to get this wins, you know, summarized so early, it did allow for Hansi Flick to be able to give like a lot of other players in the team some minutes and rest some other players. So we did see Hansi Flick do a lot of substitution from this point on. We did see the introduction of Joao Cancelo, Ferran Torres, Rooney Bagdi, Marc Bernal, and Tommy Marquez, who later came in, you know, when everything was nice and tidy for Barcelona. Barcelona did not even miss a step with all the changes, you know. Yes, there was a little bit of a drop in intensity as we started to think about how we wanted to, you know, incorporate the new additions into the team, but ultimately we kept on pressing Mallorca. They weren't able to create much. They did have two opportunities towards the end of the game where a loose ball from Barcelona here and there, a loose square pass from Barcelona did allow them to go in. There was that 1v1 opportunity with Joan Garcia, and he did enough of a good job to prevent that from being a goal. And of course, the third goal comes from Barcelona turning defense into attack, where Mallorca were trying to create something up top. Barcelona relieves pressure expertly, releases the ball through the midfield, finds Marc Bernal, who runs, you know, 1v1 against Roman in Mallorca's goal. He does have two defenders for company, so he does do a lot of good job to like deceive all of them and then place his shot near post to Leo Roman. He does get a little bit of a deflection, but all in all, it's a very good goal. I'm happy to see Marc Bernal on the score sheet. I'm happy for this player because, again, we know what he has been through with that ACL injury, and then coming back from it to be, you know, having his debut goal for Barcelona is just like a very, very wonderful story. I do want to mention that Barcelona did have a little bit of a scare moment there, and this is where I want to highlight Joan Garcia. He did have a dribble sequence there when, you know, the ball is passed to him. Two of Mallorca players try to press him high, and then he decides to dribble the ball through the two of them before relieving the pressure. Listen, it worked out, but I'm not gonna lie, it had my heart beating. It was beating for days, but just a little bit of a cute moment to add to, you know, all the mix of all the things that went well for Barcelona today. And the match does end 3-0 for Barcelona, who then, you know, extend that lead at the top of the table, ahead of Real Madrid to 4 points. Real Madrid will be playing, I want to say, Valencia tomorrow. It's a game I do expect them to win, but hey, with the way Real Madrid have been playing lately, nothing is impossible. The way the title race is shaping up this season for La Liga, it's given if you snooze, you lose. We do have a lot of people who are not going to be available for Real Madrid in this game. There will be no Rodrigo, there will be no Jude Bellingham. So we'll be keeping a close eye on how they perform in that game. But for now, Barcelona do get the job done. They're top of La Liga, still undefeated at home. And Lamine Yamal was the man of the match. Listen, it was a well deserved man of the match. What he was able to do today, the dribbles, the runs, the maturity, the composure and finishing, the golazo to boot. Sensational display from the young man, and I have nothing but tens across board to give him. But let me know who was the man of the match for you, and if you've watched up until this point, thank you so much. Remember to like, subscribe and share, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.